This is the Paracave Podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Jack's Pale Ale, exclusively available at Parramatta Leagues Club, Shannon Cooney from Glenmore Park Realty, Bo Cook from Loan Market, BTZD, the official apparel partner of the Paracave Podcast, and the Parramatta Times, the official media partner of the Paracave Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Paracave Podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Paracave.
And yes, hello and welcome back to the Paracave Podcast. Troy Warner here, and this is the replay chat of my talk that I have with the Duckman on Pulse FM 89.9 FM every Friday and Sunday. Now, in this chat, it's a little bit different this week. Obviously, we talk about the Panthers and Broncos Grand Final that was played last weekend, and congratulations to the Panthers on winning their third consecutive premiership down in the Brisbane Broncos, 26 points to 24. We also talk about the NRLW Grand Final between the Knights and the Titans, which was won by the Newcastle Knights 24-18. A little bit about the Rabbitohs Tigers State Championship, and we also talk about the Pacific Championships that are coming up in October as well. Some international games being played between Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Cook Islands, PNG and Samoa. So it's a bit of an international football at the end of the year. And we also wrap it up with a bit of a Bathurst 1000 chat as well. So we're both pretty keen motorsport fans, and I've been watching Bathurst all week so far, so we have a bit of a chat about that as well. So love the Bathurst weekend, so something a little bit different this week, so hope you enjoy it. Anyway, it's over to you, Duckman.
Welcome back there to the Weekend Sports Wrap. You're here with Duckman. So that was Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. So playing that one for all the Panthers fans who some are still celebrating, seriously. So there's a few Collingwood fans out there I know too. They're celebrating too. So I don't know if they're happier that the club won or that they're going to sacrifice another tooth or something for the premiership as well. So the few don't have a lot of teeth. Troy, how are you going?
I'll go fantastic, Duckman, and yeah, what a great song. It's probably, I reckon it's probably right up there as one of the greatest nominated karaoke songs, I think, that one.
Oh, 100%. So I've given it a good old thrash at the RSL a few times, the Henry Lawson Club and that as well. So you think you sound like Bon Jovi until you hear it played back again. It actually sounds like you're murdering a cat, so it's not a good... not the best thing ever. And that's a euphemism. I actually don't go around hurting animals. So it's just a figure of speech. So not the greatest singer of all time, I can tell you.
Nah, neither am I. Don't worry about it. I could probably do my best work in the shower, singing in the shower, mate. So where nobody really hears me. But look, it was a great song anyway.
Yeah, that's right. So... well, actually, I said we'll start off with Bathurst. We won't do that. We'll actually have a look at the NRL Grand Final last weekend. So I can't remember. So Brisbane Tigers played the lower grade game against Souths. And what was the score? It was a blowout in that one too, wasn't it? And
yeah, 42-22 to the Rabbitohs over the Brisbane Tigers in the state championship. Obviously, the Rabbitohs, the winners of the New South Wales Cup, and the Brisbane Tigers of the Queensland Cup. So they come together on Grand Final day and play the state championship. And look, the Rabbitohs were always in control of this game. Tyrone Munro, who played a few first grade games for South Sydney this year, he scored a triple in the Grand Final. So they really walked away with it.
Yeah, so I never actually saw that game at all because I was running around doing stuff before the actual Grand Final and the NRLW game. how many of those guys step up? Did you watch much of that game, and do you think we're going to see any of these guys step up in the next year or so and become regular NRL players or potential superstars in the future?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, as I mentioned, Tyrone Munro, he played a couple of games for South Sydney this year. He's definitely a winger to watch for the future. And there's also Tallis Duncan as well. He scored a try and he's had a couple of games of first grade as well. I think he got his name after the great Gordon Tallis, but he's certainly one to watch as well. So, yeah, these games are what that's sort of all about, is for fans to get a bit of recognition of players in the lower grades. Blake Taff, who's off to Canterbury next year, he played as well. So Shaq Mitchell has played a bit of first grade as well. So there's a little bit of a sprinkling in there of the South Sydney side. So, yeah, definitely these games are good to watch for those.
Yeah, 100% would be. So the NRL game, the NRLW, that score ended up being 24-18, but it was going each way, and Gold Coast got up. They were up 18-12, I think it was 18-12, and they looked like they were going to seal it. And then just before I come on air, you could see, I was listening to it, you could hear the change of momentum, and the momentum changed and ended up being the case of Newcastle picking up a try. And when Newcastle picked up a try, that swung the game back in their favour. Then they rolled on with momentum and picked up a win. So it's a good win with them. They were the best side all year for sure. But, gee, they could have easily gone to the Gold Coast.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Look, the Newcastle Knights, congratulations to them on winning their back-to-back premierships in the NRLW. They had to do it the tough way. Gold Coast scored first through Jamie Chapman, who ended up scoring a triple in the grand final. And they had to do it the hard way, the Newcastle Knights. Gold Coast scored first, and then Newcastle came back with a couple of tries, or a few tries, and you thought, okay, they're in control here. But then suddenly 2 tries in 3 minutes to Jamie Chapman for the Gold Coast, and they looked like they were in control. But then the class of Tamika Upton, she really stood up and scored a couple of tries herself and really got Newcastle back into the game. And I guess their experience really took over, and they ended up going on with the win.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the games just got better after that. So the NRL game, we knew the NRL Grand Final was going to be good and it was going to be close. I did call it before the game started. Penrith would win 26-22. I said Steve Crichton would score any time. I thought Isaiah Yeo would get the Clive Churchill medal. Went pretty close, so Penrith won 26-24. Stephen Crichton did score, but Nathan Cleary, I think that's the best game I've ever seen him play. Like, not just saying that because Penrith won the Grand Final, like, that was the most dominant game I have ever seen him play at any level. And I thought it was funny, Brad Fittler said, if you had done that, mate, I wouldn't have got sacked. I thought it was hilarious that came out in the commentary.
Yeah, look, congratulations to the Panthers. They've achieved the three-peat and now have 5 premierships to their name, obviously winning in 21, 22 and 23. And look, it was a great grand final. Was it the greatest grand final of all time? It's yet to be decided. I'm sure the Penrith fans will say that it was, but look, it's
I still reckon 2015 myself, so that was a different grand final. It's like completely end-to-end. And did go right down to the wire, that one. So that's my opinion. I think 2015's got that one covered, but not by very much.
Yeah, definitely. And unfortunately for Broncos fans, they were in that grand final as well and lost that in the last 20, 30 seconds of the game. Look, I ranked that one as well as my favourite and the best, and I think 97 is very close to that one as well. But look, this was certainly a great grand final. The Panthers scored first through Mitch Kenny through a short dropout by the Broncos. Their dropouts, they probably really did cost them a few times in the game. I think one went out on the full and one was caught over the sideline by Nathan Cleary with his foot over the sideline on the ground. So their dropouts. I don't understand why teams don't go long, especially when they're winning the game. There is a theory that you can get your defence right if you do go the short dropouts, but I don't know. If I was a coach, I'd be telling them to kick it long and back your defence from 40 metres out. But Mitch Kenny got the first try, and then Tom Flegler, he got the try right on half-time, which really brought Brisbane back into the game, 8-6 at half-time, and you thought this is still anybody's game. I think the thing that cost Brisbane the game was their completion rate. The Panthers, they were nearly outstanding. I think they had something like a 97% completion rate, so that is outstanding. The Broncos, though, Ezra Mam, again, scored a triple of tries in a losing side in the grand final, but he scored that try right after half-time, and then 8 minutes later scored again, and then 2 minutes later again scored again, and you thought 24-8 at with about 17, 18 minutes to go, you thought Brisbane are in control here, and Penrith are going to have to find something, and up steps Nathan Cleary in that 18-minute period. And as I said, he caught that dropout with his foot over the line, and he also did a 40-20 on the third tackle, and then scored the match-winning try right at the end. So a well-deserved winner of the Clive Churchill medal.
Yeah, absolutely. Could have easily gone to Ezra Mam if Brisbane had a one, but so what he did was outstanding. A lot of people said they thought Reece Walsh was good. I actually thought Reece Walsh was off. I would have only rated him about a 6. I don't know if the moment got to him, or you're not going to play good every single game, unfortunately. So the really, really good players will consistently play pretty much the same level every game. He is still a young, developing guy, so he's still having his hot and cold games. His good games are outstanding. His weaker games, that wasn't a bad game, but it was a more average game. That's a fair level below what his best is, right? So that hurt him, right? Someone needed to step up. He really needed to do it after Reynolds got injured. Burke's out, the better strike guy. Ezra Mam, wow, he must have gone really close to getting the Clive Churchill medal. But yeah, just the whole turnaround. When I watched Penrith get 3 tries put on them, I went, oh, we're done. We're going to get absolutely smashed. I thought they were going to get hammered. And they got back. Moses Leota, I thought Moses Leota was going to run into the crowd with the ball. It didn't look like he wanted to stop and put it down at all either. But yeah, it was an excellent comeback, what Penrith did. And I think it's just resolve showing, we've been there and done it. They got back, got the try of Moses Leota, then got another one pretty quick with Stephen Crichton. Once they got the second one, you could just tell they were going to win. Just Brisbane dropped their heads like they nearly gave up in the last 5 or 6 minutes, because you could just see, oh no, it's going to happen again. So it's like it was a mental thing.
Yeah, look, I think Nathan Cleary was just hoping that Moses Leota would get over the line, but he certainly showed some pace to get over that line. And as you said, it looked like he was going to keep on going, like a bit like Forrest Gump. And then, but then Stephen Crichton, he scored another try in grand finals. That's 4 in 4 grand finals. An amazing record there. Obviously off to the Bulldogs next season. And then Nathan Cleary scored his match winner as well. So, look, there was a couple of moments during the game, as you mentioned there. Adam Reynolds, he copped a bit of a hit, and it looked like he may have been gone for the game, but he was able to just run that out, and he continued on in the game. And I don't think he would have, if it was something that he could play on in pain, I think he would have played on in a grand final. And also Nathan Cleary, it's come out that he copped a hip drop tackle from Payne Haas, I think it was, and in the first half, and he was a little bit ginger as well. He sort of got up, and you could see that in the next day, him walking around at the fan day, he was a bit ginger on that one leg there, and that's why he's been ruled out of the Kangaroos side, which we'll talk about shortly in the Pacific Championships coming up. But look, those two players, they're very crucial to their sides. If either one of those went off, well then you could possibly kiss their chances goodbye, especially the Panthers, now that we know that what happened. But the Panthers did it the tough way. They had Jerome Luai go off, and as you mentioned there, that's where Jack Cogger came in, and he just played his part. And there was Isaiah Yeo as well. He went off for a HIA, so he was off for 15 minutes as well. So they had a couple of players off there, and that's just where Nathan Cleary just really stepped up. And as I said, it would have been his medal to lose. And as you said, Ezra Mam, he would have thought he possibly would have had that, scoring three tries in a grand final.
Yeah, 100%. So I said the other night before we went to air that I thought Jack Cogger would do something special, and he needed to. Yeah, let's step up. So, and he came out, and I actually think is potentially a better substitute for Jerome Luai at that time of the game than what Jerome Luai was, because he just knew, I've got to give it everything. I'm only going to get one crack at this for a while. Like, he might not see another grand final at Newcastle, might not see another one again. Who knows? You can't bank on grand finals and stuff, but I thought he had a very good game too, and it really helped complement what Cleary was doing. His fresh running and new set of eyes on the field. It just changed up the tempo a bit and brought it back to Penrith as well. So Cleary still had to step up, but yeah, a couple of things went in their favour, and I think bringing the big boys back on too, Moses Leota and James Fish-Harris after a break, that definitely helped turn it all around. All these things all happened at the same time, and it was just good management of the whole squad, really, from everyone involved. It was unbelievable. We'll look at the next thing here. So, like I said, the Rugby League Championships are kicking off next weekend, isn't it, by the look at this, the 14th of October. The Kangaroos take on Samoa. So let's have a look at the Kangaroo squad. See if I can pull the lineup up. I haven't got it here in front of me at the moment. I'm trying to get it now. There we go.
Yep.
I don't know if it's been up or hasn't been updated on this list, but Josh Addo-Carr is out due to his indiscretions at the Indigenous Rugby League tournament he's playing in last weekend, and has been replaced by Dylan Edwards, which I think everyone is very happy with. But the rest of the side looks like this: Pat Carrigan, Daly Cherry Evans, Nathan Cleary's out. Who took Cleary's spot? Nico
Hines has been called in, yeah.
Yeah, so Nico Hines coming in for Cleary, Selwyn Cobbo, Lindsay Collins, Ruben Cotter, Tino Fasua-Malui, Thomas Flegler, got Harry Grant there, Payne Haas, Valentine Holmes, Ben Hunt. Valentine Holmes does have one game suspension. Liam Martin, Cameron Munster, Cameron Murray, Katoni Staggs, Hamiso Tibuai-Fido, James Tedesco is the captain, so there's a few people who are surprised. I'm one of them that he's actually in it. I understand why they're sticking with him at the moment. He'll want to be playing good next year, because I don't think he's guaranteed he's going to be in the State of Origin side. Jake Trbojevic and Isaiah Yeo. So you're pretty happy with that lineup there. I think they've got just about all the best players there. You can't pick everyone, unfortunately. They don't have a massive squad here to go into this.
Yeah, look, I think there was no surprises in this side. I think a lot of Penrith fans were disappointed that Dylan Edwards wasn't in the side. You got, as you said, you got James Tedesco there as captain. I think he is probably, it's his spot to lose, and I think he probably won't lose that spot unless he retires from representative football. Probably the same as State of Origin football as well. I think he will just get picked because he is the captain and he has done the job before. And I know Mal Meninga is pretty big on loyalty in the Australian side, as he was with the Queensland side. But yeah, look, I don't think there's many massive surprises in there. Especially, there's a few Panthers in there, there's a few Broncos in there. Daly Cherry Evans will probably play halfback now, as with Nico Hines as cover as well. So look, it's whatever team Australia usually puts out, it's a pretty strong side.
Yeah, so I noticed that we got to play against Samoa, so that's next Saturday, 8:10 p.m. PNG Kumals, they're playing against Cook Islands. That is on Sunday, and New Zealand's playing against Samoa Saturday the week after. I noticed there's no Tonga, so Fiji are in it as well. So how come Tongas don't have a presence in this?
Tonga's doing a tour of England, so they'll be going over to England and playing them in the competition as well. So yeah, that's why they aren't in these Pacific Championships.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shame because it would be good to have a bit more depth there. I do like that the NRL players like Stephen Crichton and that, who is eligible to play for Australia if he wants to, didn't get picked, made himself didn't wait to see if he got picked first, made himself eligible to start off with for Samoa, so that was a good choice. And they've got a really strong squad, right? They're going to be very hard to play against. And New Zealand, they're going to have a strong side too.
Yeah,
I do think the Kangaroos will probably go through this without any dramas, but it's good to see the Pacific nations being strong in rugby league as well.
Oh, definitely, for sure. I mean, Samoa made the World Cup final last year, and they've got a pretty strong side led by those Panthers players, Brian Toto, Isaac Tungo, Spencer Linu, who's off to the Roosters next year, and Stephen Crichton, as you mentioned there. So a good amount of experience there. Junior Paolo as well will probably be captain there. So, look, they made the World Cup final last year, so they'll be tough to beat. New Zealand will obviously be tough to beat as well. They've got a fairly decent squad there, coached by Michael Maguire. There's no real surprises there. They've got probably the best front row combination in the rugby league, in the international scene and club scene, Moses Leota and James Fisher-Harris. So they'll be well served up front. Kieran Foran from the Gold Coast, he represents New Zealand again. Sean Johnson ruled himself out with injury from that side, so we won't see him in New Zealand colours at least this year, possibly next year. And look, the Fiji side, there's a sprinkling of NRL talent there. Obviously, Wonga Blake, Michaeli Ravalawa, Mike Sivo, and Tariva from Penrith, who was the Rookie of the Year as well. So, look, it's going to be good to see some good international clashes being played over the next few weeks, and it's good to see rugby league being played. And I think there'll be some exciting football. I mean, obviously, Australia and New Zealand will probably be the favourites for this championship. But as I said, Samoa will be tough to beat as well. And you never know about PNG. They might spring a surprise or two. Yeah,
100%. We're going to kick on here to Bathurst. You've been watching a little bit of Bathurst yesterday and today as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I certainly have. I love this time of year, and the Bathurst 1000, it's probably the greatest racetrack in the world, I'd say. Definitely in Australia, but it's the race that all these drivers want to win.
Yeah, 100%. So Mustang were trying to get some dispensation for a front bonnet scoop and a rear wing to help stop their tyres from getting chopped out, because they think at the moment there's an unfair advantage that the Chevrolets have. Apparently only one of the Mustangs have been on the pace at the moment. That is car 25, who has Chaz Mostert and Lee Holdsworth in it. They have a serious chance of winning this one in the Walkinshaw and Andretti United car there. So I reckon they look pretty good. So throwing another couple of Fords here, I reckon Nick Percat and Fabian Coulthard, they are going to be very hard to beat as well. And from a Chev point of view, I reckon you'd be looking at Will Brown, Jack Perkins. Let's keep on going down the list here. Winterbottom and Caruso, they're going to have a tough team there. Scott Pye, Warren Luff. So what have you made of it so far, and who is the standouts that you've seen?
Yeah, look, well, this is a very interesting Bathurst. It's the first time that the Gen 3 cars have raced around here, so a lot of guessing games are going on as to what's going to be happening. We haven't seen too much as I said, excitement in terms of accidents so far, if you could call that excitement. Nobody likes to see a massive accident, but they are a part of car racing. But qualifying was on this afternoon, and Brody Kostecki, who is the championship leader, he got the provisional pole. Look, the top 10 has been decided. That will be in the famous top 10 shootout that's on tomorrow afternoon. I think it's sort of the qualifying that stops the nation. I think everyone sits down to watch that because it's the best sort of qualifying that you could watch, where one car has the whole track to themselves and for that pole position. Although a lot of drivers don't necessarily want to get pole position because it is a 161 lap race, a 1,000-kilometre race, so it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So but it is also the prestige of having that pole position. So there's two Dick Johnson racing cars in there, Anton De Pasquale and Will Davidson, and two Triple Eight cars, Shane Van Gisbergen and Brock Feeney in there as well. So they've actually got in the top 10, so they'll be racing off for that pole position. David Reynolds, I think, partner with Garth Tander, is probably one to watch. I think maybe they have a good chance of winning this. They've been pretty competitive in the practice sessions and also finished 6th in qualifying. So look, it's going to be interesting tomorrow afternoon with the qualifying to see who gets that pole position. But look, it's going to be an interesting race, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I really like Will Davidson. I like Dick Johnson Racing. 17's my favourite number. So Will Davidson's in the 17 car, happy about that. But to be honest with you, Anton De Pasquale, he was good last year with Tony D'Alberto. Got the same side again. Interested to see how they run against the Chevs. I haven't seen them do it. I haven't watched many of the races this year because just busy with 60 million other things. Brody Kostecki and David Russell. So driving for Airbus, isn't that Betty Clemenco's team?
Yep, certainly is.
Oh, yeah, she'll be happy that they're ripping it up because she's a massive V8 fan, put a lot of money into it over the years. So it'd be good to see if they could actually pick up the win this year. I'd like to see something different. Like, I don't mind Sam Van Gisbergen. He's a decent driver. Just I don't like seeing the same people win all the time, whether it's rugby league, soccer, rugby union, cricket, motor racing. So when it happens over and over again, it gets a little bit monotonous. And it's good competition to be up there. But if you see things happening like what's happening in Formula One with this is why people get turned off when you see Verstappen winning 10 races in a row, because it's just perceived as it's not competitive and teams have orders and instructions and it stops the other racers from doing things. So I don't like that perception that motor racing has.
Totally agree with you on that one. And yeah, I'm the same with everything. You like to see different teams win AFL, NRL, and same with motor racing as well. I think for myself, F1 has probably become a little bit sort of boring in terms of
predictable.
Max winning all the time. Look, champion driver, you can't take that away from him. He's still got to drive the races, drive the car to win the races, but they just give him the best package and he ends up winning all the time. But something like Bathurst, it's such a unpredictable race, so anything could happen. I mean, an echidna can walk on the track, a kangaroo can come out of nowhere, the infamous plastic bags can come over the fence and get up in the air ducts of cars, so you got a pit. And look, there's so many different things that can happen, so that's the beauty of this race. And look, I think it's a really important race in terms of the championship. Brody Kostecki is number one at the moment, but it's a 300-point race, so look, anyone can jump up massively if they ended up winning this race. So it's an important part of the championship. A lot of people call it the grand final. There's still a couple of races to go after this, but 300 points for winning it is massive. So look, it's going to be great. 6 or 7 hours on Sunday. I think it kicks off about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and goes through to about 5 or 6 o'clock. So I'll be in front of the TV watching it.
Yeah, there we go. Might have a chat about it if you're available to come on air on Sunday night. Have a bit of a chat about what happened on Bathurst, because I guarantee from the TV watching 7 hours of that, my missus is going to snap it. So with all the other things that I've got going on every day, all the time, so I won't be doing that. I'll keep tuned, but I won't watch the whole race. So what else you got coming up this weekend, Troy?
Not a great deal to be honest. I actually do have a Bathurst 1000 jigsaw puzzle that I'm completing over the week, so hopefully I can get a little bit more of that done, and hopefully I can get that done by the race end. So we'll see what happens there. It's a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, so I've never completed it, so I always bring it out every year in Bathurst time to try and get it done, but I haven't done it yet, so maybe this year might be it. And yeah, I'll just be putting toward a replay of this chat out tomorrow as well, and probably do a few other podcast-related things as well.
Yeah, looking forward to it. That'll be good. And I'll let you go. I will chat to you again on Sunday night, Troy.
Not a problem, Duckman. Thank you very much for having me. Talk to you on Sunday.
Absolutely. Let's go forward, hook in there and get the win.
Absolutely.
See you, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Paracave Podcast. See you next time.